Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over all of the things that I have used for my son when he was age 3 and now up to 4 for preschool, I guess you would call it. If you're new to my channel, my name's Nicole. Hi. I have 2 kids at home. I have a daughter who's 10 and in 5th grade, and my son is 4 and currently hanging out. Okay, so I'm going to kind of break this down into categories. I have what I consider the educational STEM toys. Then I have some favorite books, and then I'm going to go into the more preschool workbook activity type things that I do with my son. Now, to preface this, I don't do any formal preschool technically with my son at the moment. What I have been doing is when he wants to do something, we do it. I make sure to have things available for him to do. And I have gotten more preschool type workbook activities because he asks for his own homeschool stuff because he sees his sister doing it, but it was never my intention to formally preschool him, although I may be doing that in the future, so look out for that. Okay, let's start with the toys. The first thing I'm going to talk about that's always been a huge hit with my son is puppets. We have several more of these upstairs. They're so much fun. We use these for so many different ways. These puppets will read him stories, we'll do counting, we'll just play imaginative play. So these are such a great thing for kids. Awesome. The next thing that I want to talk about is magnetic tiles. I'm sure you guys have all heard about it. We have used several different kinds, and we started with this hollow kind when my son was 3. This is something that he's made. This was a great starting off one, I believe. It just seemed simpler. And then we moved on to more solid magnetic tiles. With some trains and other things that went to it. That was great. And recently we got magnetic tiles that have a marble track. So you can make these really big and elaborate. This he does need a little bit of help on, but this is like the next step up. So magnet tiles are a huge hit in my family. Both of my kids will play these for so long, especially because with all of these things I'm going to show you, except for the preschool like workbook activities, I switch out my son's toys. So I have it all organized upstairs in my guest room, and every week I bring out 2 or 3 upstairs by my office where I work and 2 or 3 downstairs where we homeschool. So he always has new toys, so he'll still play with toys. These had for 2 years. These magnetic tiles we've had for like a year and a half, and he still will play with these just as much as he did when we first got them. So highly recommend switching out the toys. It's a little legwork in the beginning, but it helps so much in your kids actually playing with their toys. At least that's what I found. All right, some other great activities like that we moved on to next is this type of a toy. It has lots of different shapes, as you can see, that they can put them together, and it's not as easy as it looks. It does take a little bit of finagling in some ways. So when my son first got this, it was a struggle, but now he can do it pretty well. This has been a hit. Another one that he recently got for Christmas that was a little step up is like this. It has all these different legs and joints for you to connect. It does have wheels and other things. This does require a little bit more thinking and thought. So as you can see, everything's kind of progressed with level of difficulty, with this being the most difficult. He does need a little bit of help sometimes with this, but he can also sit here and play with this for half an hour and not even notice the time's gone by. So I love STEM activities like these, and what I've shown you, I feel like they've helped my son's dexterity so much. All right, so I'm going to go over all the books now, and I'm just going to go over some that were huge hits with my son and just ones that he really loved. So the first thing is Dr. Seuss toddler books. So they're just these little board books, and you can get them, I think, in beginner and then the normal size. Now, my son loves these books so much, you guys. He still has us read them. His current favorite right now is Big Dog, Little Dog. These are great for rhyming. These are just great little books. You know, when he's holding it, he feels like it's his book, his size, but these have lasted us forever. Like I said, my son is still using them. Another big hit is Little Blue Truck. My son loves Little Blue Truck. I'm sure you've heard about them, but these are a great addition to any library. Another huge hit for my son was Lift the Flat First 100 Trucks. These are just so much fun for kids, and as you can tell, this has been really loved by my son, and he has looked at this book so many times, you guys, so many times. These books are so awesome. The last category of books I'm going to talk about are more interactive books with the kids. So like we're going on a bear hunt, Tickle Time, 8 Silly Monkeys, and Do Your Ears Hang Low. This opens up and you can pull out the ears of every animal. These are all interactive. They require singing and some movement of some sort from the kid. And my son loves those. The winners of them all are these 2 books called This Is Owl and I Say Ooh and You Say Ah. These books are so much fun. These are completely interactive. Let me show you a couple pages on the inside. Okay, for This Is Owl. This is Owl. Owl, wake up. Owl, you're embarrassing me. This is not how we agreed to start the book. Try tickling Owl's belly to wake him up. No, we need both eyes open. Owl, your audience is waiting. Ah, I know. Owls are nocturnal. That means Owl is only active during the nighttime. Clap 3 times to switch off the sun. And this just continues in the same way where you're getting your kids to interactively interact with you while reading the book. Okay, for the I Say Ooh, You Say Ah book, in here it tells you that if you say ooh, you say ah, and if they see the color red, they have to say pants. So like for example, when you see an ant, you have to say underpants. So they're making you do silly things. So you're saying underpants. I beg your pardon, that's rude. Because you saw red, you have to pat your head and you have to say underpants, 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 and then they'll say, now you're just being silly. So this interactive book just keeps going and adding more stuff and is so fun, you guys. All right, so for some of the activities that we've done, preschool action cards, Dino Stomp and Roar. Like for example, they have different categories where you're doing things that a dinosaur would do. You've got prehistoric poses. You have a creature feature, wiggle your legs like a beetle on its back. Scavenger hunt, sit on your egg, find a ball and sit on it without crushing it. And then me and you, grown up and child, hold hands and spin around making yourselves a tornado. So this has a lot of fun activities. So if you're just going to the park, you're going outside, you just want to do something quick with your kids, this is really helpful. Okay, so another thing that's really helpful is these. I'm sure you guys have seen these where you thread these through the animals. My son really likes these. These keep him entertained for a long time and they take time for him to go through this. So this is the type of activity that I give him that helps with his dexterity and hand-eye coordination, but also keeps him entertained. Another educational activity we have is this magnet, where you're gonna move these little balls using a magnet to wherever they go, either the color, you have numbers as well. So I have worked with my son a little bit on that. So I'll say, go get 2 pink balls and bring it over. So as you can tell, this has been loved. We use this in the car all the time. These are great activities and they really require them to focus as they're doing it. So it does keep their attention and sometimes frustrate them. So the next one I have that's really fun is this educational toy. So what it is you're gonna lay one of these sheets on the top and then you use these little colored buttons and you put it inside the color that the hole is indicating. So this is great when I was teaching my son his colors, and also again the hand-eye, getting it all in there, pushing the little buttons in. So this is a great toy, keeps him busy. You can get packs that have, I think I only got 12, but I did get my niece this for her birthday and I got her a much bigger one because they do go through these a little quickly. Another really great activity is this Spot and Learn, includes 50 action cards with numbers, letters, colors, and shapes. So here's an example. This is for the colors, and this is brown. Spot 4 things that are brown in color. And this is for the numbers. So the back will always tell you the number and how many. And then you'll say to your child, spot the things that you can see 4 of. And then you can also turn it around and have them count that and see that number. Then for the letters, you can see on the back it's a Z. And then spot 4 things that begin with a Z. My son loves these types of games, like this find and spot games. Last one is the shape. This one is a rectangle. So here, spot 4 things that are rectangle, and it goes like that with all the colors, all the shapes, numbers, and letters. So this is a really great resource. We started with colors, and then we moved to shapes, and now we've been moving on to numbers, and we'll be moving into the ABCs as well soon. So this can definitely also grow with you as well. All right, guys, the next activity I have is this shape puzzle. I'm just going to show you the fronts because I have them open. So for example, they give you cards. You've got easy and hard. You've got candy. That's an easier one. Then it gets a little harder with this duck, caterpillar, and puppet. So what they're going to be doing is they're going to be taking these wooden shapes. There's several different sizes, and they're going to be making whatever is on the picture. For example, on the back, it'll tell you which blocks you need for that particular picture so that you can make the duck. So in the beginning, that's what I did for my son. I let him get the pieces, and then he eventually was able to do it without looking and seeing what he needed. So this is great, and it gets pretty hard. So my son can still do this, and it can still take him some time. Another thing that I don't have to show you is the puzzles. We started out with like 4-piece puzzles. We migrated up to like 9-piece puzzles, and now we have these 12-piece puzzles that we got from Melissa and Doug. These are dinosaurs. So puzzles have been a great addition. He really enjoys them. And I think we're about to move up to something a little bigger now, but puzzles, great addition to any preschooler. All right, something else that's a huge hit is fun with foam. So essentially, it just gives you several different foams, and you just push them out. They've already been pre-cut, and they have tape at the bottom, so they can put them in any way they want. So here's an example of ones that my son has done. So just fun, entertaining, easy activity for them to do, especially when you're homeschooling other kids. Another great addition that we got is these washable dot markers. These are really great. You can use these in a lot of different ways. They come in a lot of different colors. So we've really enjoyed these a lot. Another thing that I use with my son that he really likes, and I was actually surprised how much he liked because I thought it's kind of mathy, is this counting and coloring sorting kit. So what it is you have these marbles, and you put them in these little plastic cylinders. You have a tool that you have to grab it, and it's kind of hard to grab it. You have cups, and then you also have these directions. So like, for example, this card will tell you put these colors in this order. There's also number cards for you to use to tell them to put 9 of a color. It's really cool. So this is a plastic cylinder, and this is the ball. And you can see with this tool, it is kind of hard to grasp it in your hand and put it into this plastic cylinder. See, so that was even hard for me to get it in there. And you have these cards I mentioned where it shows you what colors to put in which cylinder, in what order, and then on the back it has 1 and a color, so you would put that many in a color. Here is 3 orange. You're going to put 3 orange in. So a lot of different things you can do. You can sort them in the bowls as well. It has some spoons to pick up, so this is great for dexterity, great for math, hand-eye coordination, all that stuff. All right, so the next thing I got, and I got most of these from the dollar store, was flashcards. I really like these. This one is Community Helper flashcards. So I put out fires and help with emergencies. Who am I? I am a firefighter. To help him learn about community helpers, because really they don't really know this. So this was a good learning tool for my son. Also, this compare and contrast flashcards. What is similar? What is different? So they'll look at a card, figure out what's similar and what's different. Then we have this Winnie the Pooh go together game. So like, you'll put the coat and the hat together. You'll match several different items. You also have puzzles. You also will put like kangaroo and Roo together. So this is a fun game, as you can tell. We've used it a lot. And another activity that we did, I got from, I believe, Etsy, and we just got double-sided tape, is for 5, here's a little number 5, and this Band-Aid has 5 dots on it. So he has to put the Band-Aid on the number that it corresponds with. So he likes this one a lot. I think I mentioned earlier that my son loves these fun-to-find searching activities. So this one has been a huge hit. We've done this so many times. So down here it just says at the bottom of the picture, and he'll find it. And as I realized how much he loves this, I got these search and find ripe and wipe activity mats, and there's so many cool mats in here, you guys. This has been a semi-new addition. It comes with the markers with it. Like, let's look at this one. Match the animals with the correct body covering, and it always has 2 sides. So on this side, you would just be searching for the animal, and you would circle it. Here, you would find the numbers 1 through 10. And then on the back, you could do counting practice, which is a little above him. Here you have writing, and my daughter's actually the one who's written on here, if you can tell. Again, you'll find the letters hidden within. You have find these images and you'll circle them. You can draw whatever you want. How many items of each shape can you find? Find 15 differences between the two images. Same on the back. So just so many of these different fun activities. Here you're tracing different animals. You're tracing dinosaurs. You're tracing to practice lines. You also, more line work. And just so much in here. There's 28 sheets. This was actually a really good find that we recently got. All right, the last part is the workbooks that I got for him. So the first one is this toddler coloring book. This just has numbers, letters, shapes, and colors, and we'll go over whatever it is, and he'll color it and draw it, and he's ripped out a few pages. Obviously, D and G don't go together. Let me get you a page he hasn't done. So you have a U, an umbrella he'll color. We did this a lot in the beginning. This was one of the first things I got. Then I got this preschool book, Mazes, ages 3 to 5. He likes this a lot. This is just what you would expect, different mazes throughout. So he loves this. Another one that I did more when he was 3 is this coloring book, Paint with Water. So this is really cool because you don't have to use paint. So what they do is they'll take a paintbrush and they'll dip it in water, and then they'll go over this and they'll paint it here. So there's only a few pages left in this book because he's used almost all of them. It does get a little messy, but it's nothing like paint. So this is a really easy thing I can have him do when we're homeschooling. Another thing I got is I got several workbooks on shapes and sizes. We really worked, especially last year, on his colors and shapes. So here's a page he hasn't done. Shape recognition. Look at Piglet waving to Pooh through the window. The window is a square. Pooh is keeping his house warm. Pooh's fireplace is also a rectangle. There are even 2 circles at the top of Pooh's fireplace. Trace the shapes and finish coloring the picture. So that was a nice one. This other one is just a shape workbook. This is actually new. He hasn't used it yet. Color each circle yellow. Color the ovals blue and purple. The star is made with 6 rhombuses. Color each rhombus a different color. So he kind of migrated to these more difficult shapes. So we're actually going to be starting this. Then another one that he just loves is my pencil control. So he's done most of these pages, but he loves this. This is kind of like what I just showed you on the white eraser board, but there's also, as you get further down, you're tracing a Christmas tree, you're tracing a stocking, you have join the dots if you want to use numbers, you've got flowers. So it's not just straight lines, it's a lot of different activities. So he really likes that. And the last thing that I just recently got, that if you watch my preschool brainstorming video, I had not gotten him yet, and that is scissors and cutting. I had not let him do it to this point, but I have now. So we have scissors and this cutting and pasting practice pad. These are so simple. So here's Build a Bot. Cut the 3 sections of the robot below, then paste them in order to build your robot. Help the helpers. Cut out each shape to the right, then paste in the space next to the helper who uses that item. So he's been doing this quite a bit. He loves the scissors. They're really, for some reason, I remembered them with my daughter being a lot scarier than they are, but they're really not. So, all right, guys, so that's everything that I've been using for my son for the age 3 to early 4, I would say. If you guys have any suggestions of things that you guys have used with your 3-4-year-old that they have just loved, please let me know. I love to get ideas. If not, I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.